Hello and welcome to Trust Your Glitter. My name is Christy, and this is the astrology for the week of the 27th of August through September 3rd. I cannot believe I keep saying this every time a month changes. It's like how we were just in 2022 and now we're almost all the way through 2023, which goes to show you the movement of nodes and also goes to show you the fact that we're going to have some big freaking eclipses next year and we are ramping up for some really big changes and shifts. So I want to do the astrology for the week. I have a lot of notes, I have a lot of cards, there's a lot of homework here because that's what astrology does for us. It brings us homework assignments. It brings us these things where we have to learn to really dig in and love ourselves and go through the processes. So part of my process now is being on camera. It's not, this has been an assignment. I have shown up for the assignment and I'm here for the assignment, but just know that I'm here and I'm super vulnerable today. And also, if you're feeling vulnerable, we have a supermoon this week in Pisces. So it is about really, really being in our heart chakra. And it's that kind of heart chakra work that's like, whoa, mama type of heart chakra work. It is getting us out there in the most vulnerable way, showing up. Some people might be crying, okay? And not like cancer season crying. I mean, like a song makes you cry, a memory makes you cry, a smell makes you cry, some weird thing makes you cry because it is about the emotional processing. So, as we head into this week of deep emotional processing, I kind of want to talk about the aspects ahead. So, today is the 27th when I record this of August, and Mars has entered the sign of Libra, the balance scales, the justice card. And that is all about kind of sitting there and weighing our options between the divine feminine and divine masculine aspects. What are you feeling versus what's the rational side of things? And we're going to be continually asked these questions as we move forward. It's like the irrational versus rational. It's like, what are you feeling versus what actually makes sense in your mind? And it's mind and heart are kind of meeting within our intellect. So it's a very interesting way to look at our actions. And it might feel like you are kind of torn between a lot of things in the next few days or next few weeks, because also Mercury retrograde in the sign of Virgo while we're in Virgo season in a mercurial ruled sign. It's like, yes, we are weighing the options, we are weighing the possibilities. But the thing is, with Virgo being an earth sign and the fact that this is our third Mercury retrograde in an earth sign, these are tangible processes. So another thing that we're working on is, self-care in the form of self-talk. And I think that Instagram is serving as a really great space for vision boards in this particular case when you follow, especially on the spiritual end, when you're following quotes and mantras and meditations and affirmations. This particular Mercury retrograde is a really important time to ramp up the positive affirmations. How are you speaking to yourself? How are you talking? What is your self-talk like on a daily basis? Because Virgo can be very like self-deprecating. So can Pisces as we're heading into this. If you heard there was a bird that just birded, do you hear the bird? The bird outside is agreeing. This is a process where it's like, what are you saying to yourself? And I'm starting my days with morning pages, and I think that it's a really good process to work through your self-talk and to also just write out what you are feeling in terms of how do you change the self-talk, how do you reprogram the self-talk. So I think it's interesting as Mars enters Libra, because Libra, also being an extremely intellectual sign, is also saying, like, what are you seeing? What are you reading? What are you really taking in on this level? Libra being an air sign, how is this cognitively downloaded? So I think that that's an interesting assignment for us all with Mars in Libra, especially as the South Node is releasing those codependent processes through the sign of Libra, and then also the North Node being in Aries, the Mars ruled sign, is like, how do you direct this? Well, affirmations, perfect way to fuse it all together, perfect actions to take, perfect Mercury processes to look at. Because the next day, Uranus, who's kind of the chaos maker, because you can't have the skies without a little bit of chaos. You can't have this, there's a constant flow in the stars, there's a constant movement, there's a constant communication between these planets, between these asteroids, between these, fixed stars. So Uranus at 23 degrees Taurus is going retrograde on the 28th at 10:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and will be retrograde all the way until January 27th of 2024 to 19 degrees of Taurus. This is important because we'll also have Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter is also going to go retrograde, but we'll talk about that later. I know it is a planetary relay race. It seems like anytime a planet goes direct, another planet's going retrograde. And that's also part of the process of 2023, because we are in an extremely synchronistic spiritual year of 7, which is the year of our hermit energy, our chariot energy, where you're kind of stepped back, where you are directing the reins, where you are deciding where to drive that car. But because it's a 7, the number is actually going inward. The energy turns towards ourselves and asks us, can you tell yourself what you need? Society is going to tell you a whole bunch of other shit, but you have to tell yourself what you need. So as Uranus goes retrograde, this is going to kick up the, what do you really need? What do you need to revolutionize, evolutionize, shake up? Think of it as, Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus since 2018 and brought us a lot of changes to the economy. We're watching a lot of changes to what physical body versus AI body looks like. Uranus being more Aquarian in nature, us being in the age of Aquarius or entering the age of Aquarius. I would argue we are here and we are here with the transition into it. But I also think with Uranus being a Taurus being a Venusian ruled sign and Uranus being, associated with the sign of Aquarius, this is giving us that tangible earthly reality and the intangible. So there's a theme here, the intuitive. I don't even want to call it irrational intuitive. It's just when you consult holistic journals and holistic writings on the divine feminine, often it's like the irrational side, the side that doesn't make sense in the tangible world. I think irrational is a stupid way to put it. I think it's more of, we have a higher cognition, which is that thing we feel in our body when we're like, hey, I really feel I need to go to this place at 8 a.m. Or I really feel I need to go here instead of here, even though everybody's going here. Or, that's that thing you cannot explain versus like A to B linear time. Uranus and Taurus is where linear and non-linear are deciding what is making the new version of linear. So we're heading into a new life, into a new world, and this is that messy process in between. That, what in the hell is this? Are aliens real? Are, what's going on? Is that a spy balloon? Like all these sorts of things that we're seeing, we're having to really sit with. Is that man on the plane real? Was that woman telling the truth? Is the woman's Instagram a real Instagram account? These are the things. Is the guy that handed the journal to Drake an AI or is it a hologram? All of these sorts of things we're going to see. And as Uranus is going retrograde, this is revisiting this stuff. So that kind of stuff is coming back. I really do feel like ETs and UFO spottings are going to ramp up even more as Uranus goes retrograde. So between the 28th of August and January 27th, I'm really interested to see what goes on with UFO phenomena in the sky. Pay attention to the sky. Obviously, pay attention to the weather, because there is a chaos maker here, and you wouldn't have the planet Earth without a little bit of chaos makers around. Mercury is a chaos maker. Uranus is the higher version of that chaos maker. So on the 28th, we're going to have, and it's not even on the 28th, we're going to have some chaos, but it's going to invite that chaos through. And then we have a supermoon. We have a super full moon in the sign of Pisces. I did last week's episode, I scried with the moon. I scried with the last quarter moon and the full moon. I looked at the charts next to each other. And with those charts, I did more of an intuitive reading. Today, I'm just going to talk on a very tangible basis on what this moon is about. The full moon in Pisces takes place at 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 7 degrees of Pisces. Now, this is a moon that I would consider a channeler's moon. You are channeling with this process. You are extra psychic. You are extra sensitive. Your dreams are extra. Everything is extra. This moon is super close to the planet Earth. And you, just in case we forgot where we were, all right? Sometimes I'd be forgetting this shit. Where am I right now? Oh, I'm on planet Earth still. I'm still here. I love, hold on this tangent, but I absolutely love the whole trend right now of people online just writing songs like "Get Me Off This Planet." If a portal opens, I'm the fuck out of here. Totally agree. What in the hell is going on? And also, I love the trend where it's like people talking about how we've all been told there are aliens, but we're all too fucking burnt out. And we're like, all right, well, how am I going to pay my bills? This full moon is allowing you to feel the burnout, meaning like if you are burned out anywhere and all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're like, wait a second, hold up. You're telling me right now that there are fucking UFOs and all this shit, and all I'm trying to do is make sure these bills get auto paid and there's enough in this account for the auto pay to come out so that we don't bounce this shit. You're telling me this? Because if the aliens are here, I'm feeling this Pisces energy, and let me tell you, all right, I'm feeling some extra terrestrial right now. I'm feeling extraterrestrial. And that's what this moon is. It's really saying your feeling is not wrong. What you're feeling is not wrong. Now, it's processing the emotions behind the feeling and knowing that there might not be an answer right now, other than to process the emotions. And part of that is this is trauma-based. So the sign of Pisces and the Sabian symbol for 7 degrees Pisces is a cross sitting on a rock. And it's kind of like as you're reaching land, you're looking up from the ocean and you're seeing this cross on this bed of rocks. And I'm going to, trigger warning, I'm going to talk about religion. With Jesus, so it's said in certain astrological sort of aspects that Jesus was considered a Pisces, the fish, right? Christianity is the fish, you know, the sign of the symbol of the fish. And I was thinking to myself, like, what that actually means on a basis of reality, because we all celebrate Christmas, the Mass of Christ. And I was thinking, like, what Christ are we massing towards here? The Christ of capitalism here? So my whole thing is, and I know I'm on a tangent, but if we look at the symbol of the supermoon with the cross on the rocks and look at it from Christ consciousness perspective, if Christ consciousness is Pisces consciousness, which is the age of Pisces, which was the, you know, that was the age of Christianity, and we're heading into the age of Aquarius, where no planets right now are Aquarying, all right? We have Pluto in retrograde doing Pluto's thing, and if we think about it with Christmas, and we think about this as the symbolism of Christmas, being December 25th. And the Capricorn, the goat fish, sea goat, excuse me. Goatfish is a comedian, but the sea goat, and if we look at this from that perspective of the true reality, the true portal that is between the opposition of Virgo 7-degree sun and Pisces 7-degree moon, with Saturn in retrograde at 4 degrees. So it's a conjunction with the supermoon with Saturn. And look at this as symbolic of Christmas, and what Christmas embodies on a very tangible level. And how Christmas is a celebration of capitalism in modern day society. It's supposed to be a celebration of family and community and appreciating the consciousness of Christ, which is ultimately sharing. And, I mean, it goes into religious trauma. If you were raised Catholic or religious, what does that actually mean? What's the higher version of that versus what's the modern day version of that? And with Pluto and Capricorn still, and we're waiting as a community for Pluto to re-enter Aquarius to give us that full go-ahead. And then while we're doing this, Uranus, this is the most Aquarian planet we have right now, going into retrograde. So in the sign of Taurus, in the tangible. So our tangible realities are really going to be in a shaker. Like if we take a bottle of soda and we shake it up and it poofs out, it explodes out. Or we do the science project with the, Christy, I swear to God, look, I'm going to try and I'm not editing out today. I'm just not editing out today. I can picture what in my head. The science project where you put the is it Pepsin? Oh dear God. Pepsin in the bottle and you shake it up. That's what I'm seeing with Uranus retrograde with this full moon. So we are looking at the oceans here. We are looking at the currents because Pisces is the ocean tides, the deep sea. And I really strongly want to redefine Pisces here because I'm so fucking tired of the sign of Pisces being considered the martyr, which is what Christianity has labeled Pisces to be. And my answer is fuck that shit. Because if you look at the deep sea and the deep ocean, Pisces does go there. And of the 3 water signs, yes, Scorpio goes there on a psychological level, but Pisces is going there on an intuitive level. But if you look at the oceans, you look at the tides, you look at the currents, it's not like the ocean ain't a fucking scary place to be. All right? The tides turn, we got undertow, we got wind. Well, our wind, where's our wind right now? Where's our air right now? Mars, South Node, Libra. Libra wants to balance, but we all know. Does anybody have a Libra friend out there who is truly defines themselves by the relationships they're in? I really wish I could give a message to Libra, which is like your relationships with yourself first. And if you're a Libra out there getting triggered by this, good. Because the thing is, you are not defined by your relationships or your situationships. And that's for everybody, but that is specifically for the sign of Libra. You're not here to please anybody. You are here to find your own place. You are your own island. If you are a Libra and you're like, well, I'm already my own island, good for you. You've gone through the process. You've gone through your shadow. But with the South Node in Libra, your shadow is going to be tested. Trust me. All of us are, but Mars is in Libra. Fucking Mercury's in retrograde. I mean, there's a lot of and then on the fucking 3rd of September. So welcome, September. Welcome. September comes around, we have this full moon, we have this release. It's a lot of emotions, but also Venus has been retrograde. She's been retrograde since July the 22nd, and she goes direct on the 3rd. She goes direct on the 3rd. Now, mind you, Uranus is in a Venusian ruled sign. Mars in Libra is a Venusian ruled sign. South Node in Libra is a Venusian ruled sign. Jupiter in Taurus is a Venusian ruled sign. If I said anything like Uranus is in Libra, Uranus is in Taurus. Again, I'm not editing anything out. Uranus Taurus retrograde, Mars Libra, South Node Libra, Jupiter Libra, all Venusian ruled. Venus loves her Taurus, Venus loves her Libra. But that North Node is in Aries, Mars ruled. So there's a dynamic here with the twin flames. Twin flame being your internal, divine feminine, divine masculine. And I made a mistake. I've been reading a book and it's called Burning Woman. And in the book, it's redefining fire. It's redefining what the fire is in our life, that internal sacred flame. And the thing about this is, as a reader, I need to apologize because I've been done fucking up. The thing that I'm fucking up about is I've been telling a lot of people that the divine feminine is a receptive side, and that discounts our divine elements. That discounts our fire. And right now, with Venus going direct in the sign of Leo on the 3rd at 12 degrees, you know, she went from 28 degrees to 12, back to 12 degrees of Leo from July 22nd to September 3rd. As she moves forward, she's giving Mars a go-ahead. She's giving Mars in a Venusian ruled sign. This Venus lesson doesn't end. This twin flame cycle, this twin flame journey doesn't end. If you know your twin flame out there, good on you. If you do not know whether or not you have a twin flame or not, I truly think the age of Aquarius is bringing that lesson around. A twin flame does not have to be a romantic relationship. Generally, right now, I think a lot of people are going through a twin flame journey with a romantic partner. There are different types of journeys. So there are people that define that twin flame relationship as well. So we have soulmates. And a lot of soulmates can be a relationship where it feels like this push-pull, this push-pull. Ultimately, the goal is you. You are the answer within yourself. And that's the whole part of this process. So I want to say that this is for next week, but I do want to say that the day after Venus goes direct, Jupiter in Venusian ruled sign Taurus goes retrograde, while we have Uranus in a Venusian ruled sign. So you can't make this shit up. I'm telling you, this is one of the most synchronistic years of all time. And with that Sabian symbol, I look at Christianity from the highest form of consciousness as a symbol of do not be a fucking martyr for your fucking relationships anymore. That's romantic, familial. You are not a fucking martyr. That is what the supermoon is trying to show you. Process these emotions, give yourself permission to process these emotions, but you are not at the mercy of some other motherfucker who does not give a fuck, you know? And that also includes the relationships that do. So it's knowing what relationships Venus is really asking for you to heal in your life. And I think a lot of women on a sacred level are waking up to the fact that the patriarchy, Christmas, has been a fucking bullshit thing. This is why Pluto is in retrograde, and Pluto is bringing us these lessons that this wall is falling the fuck down. And I'm in Aries, and the North Node's on my Venus right now. So I know that even though I'm going all fire sign on everybody right now, that this is what needs to be said. So the aspects next week. So today we have a sun in Virgo directly opposite Saturn. But I think that this also influences our full moon. So we have a sun-Saturn opposition with the full moon conjunct this supermoon. It's not exact, but because it's such a big energy, it is asking us, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? What is your life purpose? Why are you here on a spiritual level? Why are you here? If you could take away all the factors of fear, all of the things where people are like money, you know, expectations, not disappointing people. That's very, very Virgo Pisces. Like, oh my God, I don't want to like rock the boat. You're an ocean god. You're a Neptunian ocean sign. You're supposed to rock the boat. You're supposed to sink it sometimes, okay? Pisces is like, there's giant octopus out there. There are squids in the ocean. Can we just break this down? There are actual fish that have lanterns on their motherfucking head. How is that not an extraterrestrial? Okay? There are dolphins. Dolphins are fucking hilarious. Dolphins are the comedians of the sea. That's all I have to say. Dolphin, think about it. They're laughing. They're dirty. They've got dirty minds. Dolphins are the dirty, not that, now I'm going to get stuck in the ocean and dolphins are going to be like, we heard what you said on that podcast about Pisces full moon. And you said dolphins are the dirty road comics of the sea. You know what? There's a dolphin out there that's going from reef to reef, causing havoc on the clownfish. You know that shit. I'm using these cards today, but they are not shuffled. Oh, and then I have a blue card. Silly me. Okay. So then on the 30th, we have a quincunx between Mercury retrograde and Chiron in Aries. This quincunx has been influencing us. How do I feel this quincunx? Quincunx is like a tension. So if you think of like pulling like a rope and something, like, you ever have a hose stuck and you're too lazy to go to the end of the hose because it's stuck on a wall? Like, this is real deep into, like, why would I have a hose stuck on a wall? You ever have a hose stuck on a wall and you're like pulling it and you're like, I don't want to go all the way to the end of this fucking hose. So you twist it and then you pull it and then the door anyway, that's the tension of a quincunx. And that's what we're feeling with Chiron, where you're like, this is my wound. I'm speaking my wound out into the world. And yet at the same time, as I say this, you have to make a commitment to the longer term spiritual growth and say, yeah, this fucking hurt. Yeah, this trauma keeps coming up. Yeah, the chum is coming up. Yeah, the surf is coming up. It's like when you're standing in front of a wave after a storm and you're in front of the beach, and then you can see all like the seagrass and the fucking chunks of just things. Maybe there's dead fish in there and you're just watching these waves come up. Maybe it's a red tide. Maybe it's your period and you're just like watching that shit come to the surface. That's what I'm seeing here. Look, this podcast is going off the rails. The last 2 weeks we have been off the rails of just me in flow, and I'm finding my voice, but I'm seeing more pictures as I go along with this, so I'm following the weird. Let's go weird. We also have, and I'm not noting this quintile. I would never note a quintile unless it's pointed out, and the ephemeris is pointing out the Jupiter quintile Saturn on the 30th. Now, this is a degree of a point of talent. So this is like, we're in the supermoon already, but there's a highly creative aspect to your talents. So it's just emphasizing that you can manifest this tangibly, but you really have to speak this life into this. You are giving birth to this. And the birthing process is not like a Cancerian birthing process, because we have to look at the fact that Venus retrograde started, or the energy of Venus retrograde with the shadows, Venus in the sign of Leo, we had a very steamy Cancer season. Cancer was really intertwined with the fire sign of Leo. So it was a watery fire season as we entered the summer/winter solstice. And now that we're kind of heading out in the next few weeks into a new season, as these seasons change, the tangible aspects of this are, you learned this in order to manifest this. You learned that a piece of yourself had to die off. As we head into a season now, Northern Hemisphere death, Southern Hemisphere life, as we head into this new season. And on the 1st, Mars is quincunx, so that tension, pulling that tension, but at the same time, it kind of got stuck on a door. Mars, the planet of action, in Libra at 3 degrees is quincunx Saturn at 3 degrees Pisces. And I also need to mention Neptune's also in retrograde in Pisces, but this is a long transit. So it's not like this is nothing. Our psyche, our parasympathetic nervous system is getting a download so that we can integrate it, so that we can take it out into the worlds. So this is like both nervous system. Parasympathetic is taking priority, your dream world, your 12th house. Jack of clubs. I see this as Mars, and I know clubs is fire, but I'm seeing this as, with the Jack of clubs, I'm seeing this as manifestation taking place on very small levels, but it leads to a bigger what is the manifestation? I see a snake in here. Snake of like shedding your skin. Here's where I see the snake, right here. Shedding your skin. And when we head into the fall equinox, that is a denning energy. That's when it's tough because we're not going to be allowed to hide. 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs, Jack of clubs. So this is about work ethic. 2 more. The Joker. And the Ace of clubs, all clubs and a Joker. So Mercury retrograde brings out the trickster element. Okay. I thought earlier this morning I was journaling, and I'm continuing to journal about feeling like a fraud, especially because I'm taking this from a feminist angle. I know a lot of women out there feel like a fucking fraud. You are not a fraud. And I think the trickster element here with the Joker is patience. Ace of clubs is like, this is a whole new thing that's coming to life. So part of bringing to life this, being a mother to yourself, being a mother to this energy, because so many planets are really looking to Venus for answers. This is digging into the energy of the sacred feminine. Now, Venus is, we're looking from like a Greek Roman sort of element, but there's a bigger, wider, my language for what Venus is this Roman energy, but we're looking beyond Christianity here. We're looking beyond the sacred, confines of these definitions. So what is your definition of Venus? I can say like an earthy, goddess energy of love and sacredness and life and creativity and art and just that beauty of like music and just being in your sacred feminine, right? And at this particular case, the Joker is going to get in our minds, and to the sacred feminine, I'm speaking out there like, you also have to look at this. This is a masculine ace. I'm feeling this is an internal relationship. I'll do 2 cards here. Although I always say that and more cards want to come out, so you're not seeing the root. 4 of Cups is usually also about depression. Here she is, Venus, Queen of Pentacles. You're the root. You're the creator. You're the creator. You might be in this phase, but honey, you were meant to be in this phase. So sometimes when you step back to go forward, that's what a retrograde gives us. It gives us this constant step back, go forward, step back, go forward. But as Venus goes forward on the 3rd, and yes, Jupiter's going back, but I love where Jupiter's going back to. I love where Jupiter's going back. I love that Jupiter is going retrograde because it's bringing us back to that fundamental question of self-worth that these eclipses have brought around, and we're having these eclipses again in the fall. Or, you know, October is going to be a time where this Queen of Pentacles is saying, I'm here. I'm the Queen of Pentacles now. And the eclipses give us like a ultimatum. Usually that's what they're here to do. They're here to be like, here's the divorce papers, or, you know, here's the pregnancy test. Here's these kinds of things that eclipses bring us around towards. So we're going from here and we're ending up here. That's what's happening. But it takes us to take that step. We have to take the step forward. Here's the resignation letter. Here's the thing you manifested, and you have to show up. So she shows up through this. She takes this step. Let me find what this card actually is so I can show. Oh, well, here we go. That was cool. These are kind of representation. This is how I see this. This is how some other people see this. So pages and Knights of Swords, pages and Knights of Wands. These are kind of the energy of these jacks. This is the one I would choose for this one. So see how this energy goes from here to here? This is seasonal, but it takes you going swiftly and being like a little, it's impulsive, yes. But the impulsivity came through a shit ton of Venus retrograde. So is it impulsive, or is it finally making that chess move? And by the way, what's the Queen's purpose on the chessboard? She goes wherever the fuck she wants. She has free reign. But she has to understand, like, yeah, I might be in my Knight and Page phase. That ain't who I am. I know I'm here. But this is a move I have to make. Appreciate the chaos with the Joker. In this particular deck, the Joker, wait, you see, he reveals I have a couch with a water bottle on it. He reveals certain things that are behind the curtain. So, all right. I'm going to pull for the Joker through my unicorn deck, and that will be the last card. That is the boundary I'm putting up with my cards. Because the energy is super flowy with water. Water being from the Supermoon. 2 cards are out. The Joker. So this is for the Joker. These guys came out. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. And we have the Strength card. This is all that Leo stuff. Lilith is in Leo as well. I'm seeing this as a little bit... God damn. I don't usually see this card this way. See how the unicorn's looking at the lion and assessing the lion, and the lion's looking up at the unicorn like, I can't do this. And the unicorn's looking down. Here's how I heard it. I never saw you this way, lion. You're a fucking coward. I'm a fucking unicorn. I'm going forward. And the lion says, I don't know if I can go forward. And the unicorn becomes the Knight of Pentacles and says, well, I can't. Ooh, I just got emotional. Ooh, this message is for somebody. Ooh, this message is for somebody. This message is for somebody. Sometimes, and this isn't in every scenario, when you face some cowardly people, this could be family, this could be relationships, this could be somebody in your life who abused you, or situations where you lost somebody, or situations where you walked away. This is saying, I've got this armor. I'm not afraid to tough it out and actually make this happen. Or maybe your examples were from people whose bark was bigger than their bite. This message is for somebody. Generational trauma. Their bark was bigger than their bite. Meaning like their roar. I'm hearing more as their roar was louder than. In this particular case, it's a male lion. Be a unicorn. Be a unicorn and charge forward. Put on that armor. You might have to take those pink flowers out and put them up in put them in like a suit for a little while. Armor up. But once you take that step forward, once you gallop forward, here's where you're galloping towards. Venus has not you are not losing Venus here. Venus is not lost here. It might be in a costume for a while. That divine feminine might be a little Joan of Arc. But this is the land you're heading towards. Normally, I feel like, is there burnout here? No. So I do feel the supermoon is extremely, it can bring out that subconscious stuff. A lot of like having to balance sleep and rest and taking care of yourself. But this card really stands out here. In particular for between the 1st and the 3rd of September. And that's all I have for this week ahead. Watch for I'm doing all kinds of content right now. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Spotify. I'm putting my vlogs on Spotify as well. I'm trying to increase Instagram stuff. So if you can follow me anywhere, I'm on everything Christy Bellich, Trust Your Glitter, and I'm just putting as much content out as I possibly can. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I hope you have an amazing week ahead. And I hope that the supermoon brings you all the beauty and delight and psychic insights. So lots of peace and love. Bye. Take care.